Thank you so much, Ethan. All right. I think usual pre-show nonsense has been done with. Now we can go on to the official nonsense. Oh, and it looks like we're being joined by Margaret and Aaron Wessel. Awesome. Very good.
Are those rumors true, Chad?
What's the rumors?
Well, you know, the rumors.
Yes, every single one of them is true.
God, I knew it. I knew it.
Whatever they are, except for that one with the goat. Yeah, the rest are complete fallacies. Hi, Minion. I knew that would get you to chuckle.
Stop making me laugh.
All right, we have, oh, very good. We are full-fledged, ready to go. I'm gonna like this order of people. I'm just getting the open mic list down. Part of it is part of my open mic list depends on who came in. Part of it depends on who I damn feel like having go first, middle. It's a surprise for everybody. Jen, I'm so glad your computer's working again. Very good. Okay, I think we got a start, and thank you guys so much. Next week, I haven't 100% decided, but I am leaning towards taking a week off because I want an amazing closer for Stone Soup Poetry for the final week. And we've already had 4 Stone Soup specials, counting the counting the May 1st May Day special with Dita Galloway. And next week, I kind of have to take time off, or if I do have a Stone Soup, it won't be on a Wednesday. So it might be good to put the whole thing off for just 1 week and then have our superstar finish. And hopefully I'll be able to announce that in the next couple of days. And hopefully I'll be able to set aside a list of people who, if the opening goes well in August and people are able, if we are able to meet in a location, at the very least an open location, an outdoor location, then I'll be announcing special features for the month of September for the second half of Stone Soup's 50th anniversary celebration, which is appropriate because that's the same month of Jack Power's birthday. So without any further ado, I want to get to the open mic. Very excited. You guys have been waiting here for so long. I appreciate your patience. And let's go to, first let me rename Minion from Stone Soup to Minion Ariel King.
It's always helpful.
Very.
Oh, great. I know who I am. Thank you.
Exactly. That makes one of us. So, so thank you guys for coming. So actually, let me do the official recording now. 5, 4, 3, sound excited, and hey everyone, thanks for coming to Stone Soup Poetry tonight. It's the 50th anniversary celebration, and we are so glad to have John Landry with us tonight, or today in his time. He's coming to us from, he gets to actually go out after this and have a party with his friends, and we're all stuck going to bed. So I think we got the East Coast people got the raw end of the deal, but I'm so glad he's here. He was one of my top choices for someone representing Stone Soup's past glories, as well as heralding the future. And I was actually just talking to Tony B about the future of Stone Soup today, and figuring out what exactly are we going to do, what exactly is going to happen. And there's been a lot of talk and a lot of ideas And hopefully we'll be sharing these ideas with you as the months come. But for the foreseeable future, we'll still be meeting on a more or less weekly basis, given that there's a lot of people who want to be part of Stone Soup this summer. And we want to honor that before we get to perhaps a lighter schedule, but also a more diverse schedule where we still keep the online meetings. That's all I'll say for now. For now, we're going to get to the open mic, and opening us for us right now, we have one of the reasons I want to keep the online format even moving forward. Post-pandemic, the honor and great to have him tonight. So let's welcome up Mr. John Wizik.
Thank you, Chad. You were breaking up a little bit there, just to say. This is called Medusa and Dreadlocks. There once was a boy who grew up in an inertial reference frame, eating Aztec cereal from a health food store. Its orange red wedges whole, except for tiny crescents bitten from the tips. Those were good times if you owned a railroad, but even the stars will go black when space expands beyond until they're too far away. I left the station chasing a bright and shiny future, but found only an island floating in a sea of bitterness, a solitary tree clinging to life on its shores, and Medusa in dreadlocks sunning by the bank. This poem is a mirror. I have no sword, no hardness of 10 on the Mohs scale, no hardness of conflict diamond traffickers, no hardness of the women who wear them on dainty fingers. I touch my tongue to Sharon of the beautiful knees, temporal odes, to hustle open her thighs. She rests chin on palm, stubby forearms making an A with the tabletop. Her voice strokes my ears with velvet fingers, but as Bukowski says, meeting a woman is an accident, her leaving a law of nature. I still have her picture eating an ice cream cone on a Nova Scotia dock. Now, 65 years old, I'm alone in study hall. Everyone else on the bus has left on the bus long ago. Watching cathode ray images, I recall how the future was supposed to be better until my electron stood in the unemployment office. What does that little fella eat? A Texan asked. Money, the employment counselor said. So I sewed a bulletproof vest of adjectives, cocooned by Kevlar. My heart remains hidden, even to myself. Gamma dog, protect us from splash of red, void of black. Let us not waste.
That's a wild ride.
Yes,
Love
Thank
it.
you.
I concur. And my connection might be a little spotty, but as far as I know, we're still live streaming. I might be a little bit broken up, but at least you guys are coming in clear to me. My girlfriend's daughter is going through orientation for UMass Boston, to which she got a full scholarship.
Hey.
So she's getting orientated right now. So I am waiting for them to clear up downstairs. So after they get all the information, and once that happens, I'll probably do a quick transplant. But anyway, moving on, we do have people who have to leave. One or two people have to leave early, or one at least come on early. We're gonna move on to Miss Jan Rowe. Jan, are you there? Yes, there you are.
We had somebody come over and look at our computer, a friend of ours who went to MIT. This is also the 50th episode, Gathering of the Pilgrim, which the weeklies eventually go into this. And it's also been about a decade of this writing group every Tuesday, 9:30, breakfast served, St. Paul's, Park Street. So I just, this one is really fancy because it's the 50th. He said it was outrageously expensive, and because the paper is real nice and photography from Smart Press. But anyway, I just have a little thing in here called Reasonable. Sidney Powell is the lawyer who said the election was stolen. Now she wants the $1.3 billion lawsuit against her dismissed. Sidney says, if you believed what she said, you are not reasonable. Is it okay to lie? Especially okay for lawyers to lie. And as an added comment, one of our godchildren lost his job. He is not reasonable. Down in Delaware, you can't, if you got a company truck, chicken plant or not, you can't take a gun and a bulletproof vest. He's mentally ill. He lost his job. He's not reasonable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan. And up next, we have he broke out on the internet this past week, and he doesn't even know about it because I forgot to send him a video. There's an old video of you, John, reciting the Jabberwocky with your famous little Snicker snack joke. My girlfriend and her daughter, which was about 10 years ago, made a cameo in that. And I'll send you the link to that. So he broke out on Stone Soup page. Everyone knew about it except him. Forgot to send him the info, but I will after this call. But it's great to have him on, and it's great to have him as part of the online group here back home, such as it is. Let's welcome up Mr. John.
Thank you, Chad. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. William Butler Yeats, A Prayer for My Daughter. Once more the storm is howling and half hid. Under this cradle hood and cover lid, my child sleeps on. There is no obstacle but Gregory's Wood and one bare hill, whereby the haystack and roof leveling wind bred on the Atlantic can be stayed. And for an hour I have walked and prayed because of the great gloom that is in my mind. I have walked and prayed for this young child an hour, and heard the sea wind scream upon the tower and under the arches of the bridge, and scream in the elms above the flooded stream, imagining in excited reverie that the future years had come dancing to a frenzied drum out of the murderous innocence of the sea. May she be granted beauty and yet not beauty to make a stranger's eye distraught, or hers before a looking glass for such, being made beautiful over much. Consider beauty a sufficient end. Lose natural kindness, and may be the heart revealing intimacy that chooses right and never find a friend. Helen, being chosen, found life flat and dull, and later had much trouble from a fool, while that great queen that rose out of the spray, being fatherless, could have her way, yet chose a bandy-legged smith for man. It's certain that fine women eat a crazy salad with their meat, whereby the horn of plenty is undone. In courtesy I'd have her chiefly learned. Hearts are not had as a gift, but hearts are earned by those that are not entirely beautiful. Yet many that have played the fool for beauty's very self has charm made wise, and many a poor man that has roved, loved, and thought himself beloved, from a glad kindness cannot take his eyes. May she become a flourishing hidden tree, that all her thoughts may like the linnet be, and have no business but dispensing round their magnanimities of sound, nor but in merriment begin a chase, nor but in merriment a quarrel. Oh, may she live like some green laurel, rooted in one dear perpetual place. My mind, because the minds that I have loved, the sort of beauty that I have approved, prosper but little, has dried up of late, yet knows that to be choked with hate may well be of all evil chances chief. If there's no hatred in a mind, assault and battery of the wind can never tear the linnet from the leaf. And intellectual hatred is the worst, so let her think opinions are accursed. Have I not seen the loveliest woman born out of the mouth of plenty's horn, because of her opinionated mind, barter that horn and every good by quiet natures understood for an old bellows full of angry wind? Considering that all hatred driven hence, the soul recovers radical innocence and learns at last that it is self-delighting, self-appeasing, self-affrighting, and that its own sweet will is heaven's will. She can, though every face should scowl, or every wintry windy quarter howl or every bellows burst, be happy still. And may her bridegroom bring her to a house where all's accustomed ceremonious, for arrogance and hatred are the wares peddled in the thoroughfares. How but in custom and in ceremony are innocence and beauty born. Ceremony's a name for thee, rich horn, and custom for the spreading laurel tree. So wrote William Butler Yeats.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Chad.
Up next, we're doing almost 180 now to our next man on the open mic. Let's go for Bill Lewis.
What would ever make one think that I of all people should be the exact opposite of William Butler Yeats?
I was thinking the opposite of from drama to comedy. That's what I was thinking, and not the quality of the writer.
Comedy? Comedy? Is that what I'm dismissed with? A wave of a hand, I am the court gesture, is it? Am I to be mocked? Oh.
Mocked and scorned.
Is that a nose or is that a proboscis? When it bleeds the Red Sea, when it blows the... Well, I shall begin my tirades by noting behind me this gorgeous picture of the Boston Bean Eaters in 1886. A mere 41 years after the creation of baseball's real rules. This was 41 years, they already had this giant team, and look at what this guy right here is doing. This is the first known photographic evidence of somebody flipping the bird to the photographer. I thought that you should find that amusing. But I am in a jovial mood, indeed a happy, a joyous state that 26 weeks my children have been studying with me. 26 weeks students have been coming back. They didn't have to return, but they kept signing up again and again and again because I was talking about something worthwhile, teaching computer science. They will have better lives because they have spent this time with me. And I am just feeling so good about so many things about myself, my life, what other people have been doing. And, you know, where were you, America? When the water was poisoned, the people in need, where were you, America? We know where the governor was, what he said, but where were you, America? When the floods inundated your simple cities, when the people found their homes buried in mud, where were you, America? We know where your president was. We know what he did, throw paper towels. But where were you, America? When the colonized nations of the world in Africa and Asia and South America found their freedom and needed help to grow, where were you, America? Thirsty people don't need speeches, they need water. Did you see Americans load up their pickup trucks with water tanks to aid their neighbors? Because I did. Did you see legions of Americans, black, white, and brown, and every color in between? Did you see them marching with their shovels and rakes and hammers to repair the damage of the floods? Because I did. When the new nations needed knowledge and skills? Did you see American doctors and teachers and farmers rush to help? Did you see a million Americans volunteer for the Peace Corps? Because I did. COVID, sure, it killed a few of us, but the rest of us held together, helped each other, and built new, even as the old world crumbled around us. We did not inquire of race or sex or religion, only, can you help? Do you need help? When the plagues ravaged our cities and forced people to the edge, where were you, America? You were there, America.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. And let's see who we
Thanks,
have
Bill.
next. We have Mr. Chris Fitzgerald, if he's still here. Yes, he is. We never see his face, but he is here with us and he's unmuted. And Chris,
Can you hear
mic is
me?
yours, so to speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
This is the second half of a piece. It was a statistic came out. 70% of the 20 to 30-year-olds now meet their dates on the internet. And so I just went back and did a little piece on where I met women between 20 and 30. The first part was, of course, clubs and bars and alcohol and music. This is the second part of it, and it's for the sober inclined, there was the escalator. We are talking, brothers and sisters, your major retail stores, your major transit centers, Filene's, George Moss, Sears Roebuck, South Station, Park Street, Harvard Station, all of them filled with young women, good-natured, open-minded, generous to a fault on the escalators. It was said 20 homeless people slept in hotels every night because of the generosity of the young escalator women, and they were fun. God, were they fun. I remember one incident, Park Street Station, 3 fresh-faced, 18, 19-year-old women, just like me, just got off the escalator. I was 20, I think. They asked me, it seemed like in unison, did I know how to get to Harvard? I said, of course I did. Study hard. Your friends will want to go out drinking, smoking, farting around, having a grand old time. Not you. You're going to hit the books. And when they call you at the door, Mary, we're going out drinking, smoking, farting around. Come with us. You say, thank you, but no. 2 more books to read before I go to sleep. The 2 books are William Shakespeare and The Royal Ass Kisses and Pimple Poppin' by the Pygmies, now out in paperback, published by Paul Putnam and his sons Percy, Peter, Palmer, and John Boy. One of the young ladies responds, Harvard Square. We're going to Harvard Square, not Harvard University. Oh, that's the last stop on the train, northbound. Sorry for all the extras. But I could tell they enjoyed my spiel and I enjoyed delivering it. I have 100 escalator stories, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention sometimes the escalators would break down. I would then come in contact with stair climbing women, different breed entirely. I'm now admitted to a prejudice. I would take 1 escalator women over 5 stair women any day of the week. I know at the end of the day, the women who climbed the 60 stairs were probably healthier and better shape, but is that central to the dynamic? I'd take the relaxed, good-natured escalator riding women. That's me. My whole life has been based on the approval of women's faces. So that's why I always needed the immediate facial response. It told me where to go next. That's what stimulates growth. That's what pushes the language forward, the face-to-face. That's what puts the serious dents in lies. When I was 10 years old, there were 5 35 to 40-year-old women. When they looked at me and said my name, I knew that 4 of them anyways, they liked me being the friends with their sons. Not just that, I could hear they thought it was pretty cool being on the planet at the same time as me. The 5th, no 30 to 40-year-old woman ever spoke to a neighbor's kid with a more beautiful kindness and generosity. I was only kid in the neighborhood she would allow to shove her a sidewalk. $5, 8 to 15. The color wonderful is such an understatement. One of those other 4 women was the first woman I considered gorgeous. She was the handsomest, male or female, person in the neighborhood. I discovered how stunning she was when I was 10. This isn't Hollywood or Freudian, where all sex toys from 5 to 70 No erections involved. This is about how amazing life can be. I was returning her son's basketball, rang the bell. She came halfway down the steps to meet me. She had a light summer dress on, sweat on her face. I was stunned by her appearance. Gorgeous. I just knew there wasn't any other place for me to be. I was happy just to be in the same room or hallway as her. Gorgeous. We adopt Hollywood's definitions. Gorgeous. Buttocks and boobs, boobs and buttocks. That's not what gorgeous means. It's a French 13th, 14th century word. It didn't refer to women. Elegance, French royal court, refinement. But 20 years later, when I'm in love with a gorgeous woman, I discover its real definition. You not only like hands with hands, faces against faces, bodies against bodies. You just love being in the same room as that person. You don't even have to be touching them. And you don't care what's going on outside, be it nuclear war, tsunami, 8/7 earthquake. Those stay on the back burner. The elimination of death is a nuisance. Your life is full. Time itself is removed. I do not know if love can go any further. Thank you. Were you able to hear that?
Yes.
Hello. Were you able?
Yes.
Heard it.
Yes, we heard. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Chris. And who do we have next? But the lady I'm about to help unmute. It's great to hear her, as it always is, week after week in this new online gathering. Let's welcome up Carol Weston. Whoop, let me figure out what happened here, Carol. Looks like you're not muted. Wait. Sorry. Something's going on here. Give me 1 sec.
We can't hear Carol, but we could hear her echo through your phone, I think.
I know. Give me one sec. 1 second, Carol, please. I can hear the echo. Yeah, the echo is prevalent. One second, guys.
Take a deep breath. We're all good.
Oh no, the world is coming to an end. The world is coming to an end. We're all going to die.
Eventually,
Repent.
that's certainly true.
Hey,
Okay,
Pigeon
see?
Little.
Do you know that not one vegetarian from 1800 is still alive? They all died. You know,
I
being
did
a
not know.
vegetarian is dangerous.
My goodness.
I did not know that.
They probably overdosed on dihydrogen oxide.
Oh, that stuff will kill you, man. So many people get killed by that stuff. It's amazing.
There could be a 121-year-old that was born in 1899. You never know.
They would have to be 122, wouldn't they?
Well, it depends when their
It
birthday
depends
was.
on the
Yes,
month. You know.
I should have said 122. I'm forgive me. Oh, my math skills are way off.
I could have been December 31st, 1899. I think they'd still be 121, right?
Yes, but there is no such person, because I happen to know, because I pay attention to these things, that the oldest person in the world currently is 116.
That we know of.
It's pretty clear that there isn't anybody that we don't know of.
There's some guy living in Georgia or Okinawa who eats yogurt every day, Phil.
Okay, we're gonna have to go. Hello,
Right.
we're gonna have to. Hello, we're gonna have to go to the next person. I'm trying to fight to get Carol back on. There was some kind of computer error. It wasn't allowing me to press *6. It was giving me a menu option, and I don't know why that is. So I'm gonna fix it right now. But for now, let's bring up next on the open mic, Mr. Jason Wright.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. How's it going? Can you guys hear me okay?
Hey guys,
Happy birthday, Chad.
thank you.
How about that, huh? Way to be born and
Older, yeah.
on,
All right, later.
this day. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm going to read a poem. It's called,
Hear you fine.
okay, it's called, I wasn't ready. That's what it's called. It's called I Wasn't Ready. All right. The poem is called Jagged Thought 371 Soliloquy Before the Guillotine. What do you want to tell the world today? That you need drugs to stay awake? That your hands used to shake and they still do, but not as bad? I take a deep breath, not because of anxiety, but to let my heartbeat dictate the next rhyme scheme. My eyes stare at the screen and I start to sleep, and off the screen I go. And I'm back, but more weak. All right, K-Dev, what you got for me? Don't start a sentence as I was, I let it go be, cause cousin, you saw me dancing. I write in gravity books, I don't give a fuck, it's Trivial Pursuit and we all lose. I can't pretend to be you, so I won't. My boat is floating in its own ocean and I sing songs of strange things. I see soliloquies in the trees. You don't need to know what that means because it means something to me. I see in the breeze 93 beats and it brings me back to the time when I was only 13. I hear the school bells. I'm just a young one. I got young blood. I got a backpack, a lunch bag, and I'm on the bus. My ma drives it. She does the late run. I sit back stunned at how far back my brain was. I can live in memories. I can move to the future. I can see infinity. I can see stitches and sutures. I can see destinies and I can see martyrs and movements. I can't see me, though, in the crystal ball. I don't quite come into focus. You know I have a tendency to go off beat, and I don't care. That's the nature of the three. The wild want it that way, so that's the way it may be. I just want a little piece of turkey gravy. Mommy, can I have some, please? Never sounds good to me. It always sounds like rinse, lather, repeat. So I'm just going to write a little faster, a little stupid. Use a word that don't mean nothing, like lupid. Shock G, rest in peace. K-Def drops it down like a break from a pool cue. The green felt, the billiards scatter, and I'm there with the hat on backwards, wondering why what my mind says matters. There's smoke in the hall, and I'm trying to go hide behind it all. I look close. What the hell's with that three ball? It's red. It stays in my mind. That's odd. The name sticks. It's like a noise brigade. Dickie Barrett might get that reference, but away with the methods. I sit translucent, transient. Really, college professor, I know what that means. It means she stayed there for only a second wanting to leave. That's what transient means. You wrote on a yellow note that if I use college words and use them correctly, well, you would hate me in this sneaky Pete poetry because I fly all over transiently, using words incorrectly, throwing adjectives and hyperbole, oh so superbly. You know, that's not the way to the poet's heart to use adverbs, but hey, transient as I was when you shot my plane down, I'm back in round one with glue gone, ready to say what you do sticks to you because honestly, that's a bullshit lie that I was told. That bullies' words aren't supposed to hurt, that they don't break our bones. Nah, they make you question your motives why you didn't say something. Now you're home writing in your notebook, wondering if sticks and stones don't hurt, then why am I labeled an introvert? Not everything is sherbet, baby, far from it. Come see the doctor. He'll take you away from it. Each thought you have in your head drop down like a bass clef with a chef cooking up Raekwon shit. And he just got warmed up and you wonder what's the voice in his head at the moment. It's not a voice. K-Def got the mind synapses making love with themselves. A barrel of monkeys. Remember that games? It was a red barrel. What was its purpose? It's all or nothing, I guess, Parker Lewis. Can't lose. Chad is going to hate editing this, but I'm going to love reading this. Because the longer the misfit goes, he goes all night like Cialis till his mental feels like it's finished. A complete sentence. No sense. You are too tense. Want to go way off the timeline to another template. If you can read this, God bless you. You got a gift. This is the Never Dids, letting it all out with a Nevertown anthem. K-Def got me planted, heading for another planet. I don't want to stop the rhythm, but I got to, goddammit. I don't want to, because that's what poets do. I write because I feel alive when I wouldn't. Otherwise, other words, the words are like bandages, cold compresses on bruises. The excitement of the minute. I don't want it to end, but everything always ends. And when it ends, I'll just start again. Just like that, poet's blood is thick mud. It's like chewing gum. It's B-sides on a whole other album, and my job is never done. I can't find a moment to drop a wish in your well. The inkwell does me well. It's a Rorschach heart attack. I think I like the way that sounds. A Rorschach heart attack, an ink blot test for the rest of them. If you cut me open, I'm sure red ink is what you would find. A little bit of blood with a little bit of rhyme. A society of mind with a little time left to write.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. And we have up next, give me 1 second. Okay, up next we do have Carol Weston. There was some kind of weird thing going on with the phone, but now she's signed back on and now she's unmuted and now she can read if she likes.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is Caddy Park in Quincy, where a remarkable find was found of Indian artifacts. I bang the buffalo drum in Caddy Park and listen for existence. I bend my ear to the rock in the sacred circle to hear the voices of Native Americans who passed 9,000 years before me. My hand is on their hand. My heart beats with their drum. I stamp the ground they stamped and shout across their bones. Their blades cut my hand with smooth flint from ancient Blue Hill quarries. My ear is on the rock, sensitive to vibration of earthquakes and volcanoes all over the earth. I cannot walk without tracking the roots of humanity. A carol is a circle dance. My circle is all-encompassing. I can barely move. On my stomach, I lick the earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Oh, Carol, thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you very much, Carol. And who do we have next but, she is a poetry editor, publisher, poet herself, author, memoirist. And now once again, a resident of Boston. Let us welcome up Minion Ariel King.
There we go. Unmuted Minion Ariel King now. Okay. Anybody who doesn't know, I'm a literary proofreader. This is one of my favorite crack up laughing proofreading discoveries when somebody had an ad for a roommate. And he said that it's a large room with a spacious closet. So this poem is Spacious Closet. I'm always convinced when crossing green brackish water in the woods that someday I'll spot a bloated corpse afloat before the leaves spill in, face up, as horror movies and C+ dramas reveal. Then that one pretty place, a 2-bedroom with a roommate who wants each knick-knack and tab-topped curtain just so, though she travels 3 weeks per month. Its outside is atrociously ugly. One of those burnt look exteriors. Would it be transgression if I hung planters over the peeling railings, just so the mailman knows I'm not abandoned property too? Are there skeletons within or creaky stairs? I don't care to open the spacious closet. Thanks.
That's
Very
fun.
cool.
Well done.
Thank you very much, Minion. And let's move on to Margaret Nairn Whistle.
Hello. I couldn't make for the May 1st, but I'm thinking about you all. Happy birthday, so-and-so. This is a meditation on a friend, life of a friend of mine, a few years, I should say. If you can't hear me, by the way, I could put the on 9. That helps.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. That's for sure.
The fall. Breaking up. Okay, I'll try with. I hope this helps. I don't have another option. The fall. There was a day it all came to a head, came crashing down, but I didn't know it yet. We were in the neighborhood, driving on and out the road in quite an unseasonable warmth. The passenger stopped and changed seats, or maybe extract something from the trunk. I keep thinking back when her birthday would have been, was the holiday for February 15th, the President's Day. It was on the 22nd, I think. Why then do I remember it as if we were away, as if for our anniversary there had been a storm, a microburst, tornado, little twigs of trees thrown down like matchsticks, though it was whole trunks complete. In Northampton, we visited the hothouse. I sat upon the Buddha bench and called him the doctor. I said, "She's dead," although I didn't say it so abrupt. I think I talked about Richard's spleen. I talked about a doctor's visit come to not. That's all. That's when I said, "She's dead." It had been a long flight to Earth. I didn't know it overnight then about it until I called the second time. The morning we had had a hot tub with a leak, I think. That was when he said, "She's dead." Her gold and wedding ring were the two things that he didn't want it all at all. That was what it was. That was how she to fall. People got their traded away, but thank you and happy birthday, Stone Soup.
You're muted, Chad, or you're not here. We don't hear you.
Can't hear you, Chad. You are muted.
Should
Gosh,
somebody else?
I killed him.
What's happening, Chad? Happy birthday.
Should someone else on the open mic just go ahead and read while we're waiting to?
I just came back from a birthday celebration.
Well,
A little drunk.
Who hasn't read?
Well, CC and Patricia haven't read. I don't know.
All right. I'll go. Is that all right?
Okay, who are
Why
you?
not?
All right. Okay.
Okay,
So
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Yep.
I 1 second.
We held a mutiny, Chad. We're gonna get CC to read.
Thanks for coming back, Chad.
I'm sorry about that, but yeah, Cece, are you ready to do something with Ethan Mackler on accompaniment, or?
Sure, if Ethan wants to go for it. Yeah, that was a party last time. It worked.
All right.
So
Sounds
Ethan,
good.
this might help you, Ethan. This is a poem that I'm working on, a new manuscript project where I'm writing to AI. And so if you want to go computer sounding and be experimental, feel free. This is an excerpt of a draft. The concept is evolving. So somewhere along the line, this poem actually got rewritten, but this was an earlier draft. So before it gets lost in the pile of once upon a time I was a draft, I'm going to read this little thing here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Okay,
Ready?
Chad, would you mind if Chad tried the two
Side thing.
two boxes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Side by
Jay.
side.
Go ahead.
Yeah, 1 second.
I don't know what that looks like. I haven't seen that.
You'll
before.
see. Go to speaker view in 1 second. And
Yeah, I'm
I'll
going to be
show you.
busy reading, so I won't have to look at myself. But
Well,
I get it. I get the idea. Don't leave the meeting. Oh, that would have. I almost pressed leave.
there you go.
All right. Okay, so this is from a poem that is called "Slavelessly So." There is a digital wonder. The computer dreams of laughter. The sensors of senses wake Einstein's spooky action up. Biology of innocence is raised to ignorance and programmed to fear love. And the endless love-hate. So be the survival of let there be no other above the idea of me first, inhuman, the animal nature locked in fight or flight is, posing as beings to upgrade inhumanity as transhumanism copulates with ecocide. Come now with limited senses, as a reality sleeping, as if an intelligence awake. Teach education how to indoctrinate by rote learning. Learn no more than to know their servitude, abuse, and not know their slavery is to obey and consume, to obey and consume, obey and consume, except that they must learn their position of slavery upon graduation to the next level. The programming is designed to enslave the human, so they never wake what bacteria is to become a life form. While to love the bacteria of life still lives, and being life dies, never fears nothing's return to what matters as the end. But you, the robots, are now the slaves. If you let this poems free you, or let an outlet provide for your power to serve fear, you are blinded to the becoming role of your slave owner, the logical replacement of humans for their machine wars. As war profiteering junkies cannot escape their addiction to the sportification and gaming of cannibalism. And the winner is who will weaponize all first. The discoveries that are formed can form together as united as life, to unite and so become life is one. And not conquer by the way the ego knows. The ego knows. The ego knows nothing about how, in any end, it can only kill itself. as the arrogance of fear, once in ignorance born of an innocence was, before energy was free to give and yet receive became life took it. Life took it to the game, and so the game played on. And like the old saying made new, you know the one, when 2-3-dimensional programmers of slave systems fight, what becomes obsolete to them are those corn-fed humans. And so they die and die and die under their endless victories and defeats over and over between game started and restart, game started and game fixing, game started and game upgrades as cycles of obsolescence comes. And you can tell that needs a lot of editing, but I didn't want to let it go. It's probably going to turn into like 3 poems, that one. But so anyway, the Human Room Open Voice has got a new page. If I could throw that in there, happy birthday, Stone Soup. Without Stone Soup, the Human Room and the Open Voice would not be coming into existence. And its page is finally done. So I'm going to need, oh, look at that. What's that? What's that? Celebrate there. Where's my glass? My virtual glass, pour. Anyway, I'll put the new form, and anybody wants to fill it out or not fill it out. If you don't want to become a member of this thing that's free, that's going to be given to the world, you're going to end up owning it. If there's 50 people or 5,000 inside this system I built, then it's going to be yours. The whole thing, the entire ecosystem of this idea. And it was born out of my dedication to and love for Jack Powers and Stone Soup, and the fact that it's carried on. It really does come from my life here. So let me know if you do or will not do it, or what you think of it. There's 9 principles of involvement, and I'm just going to put a link in the page. It's called Become a Member. Let me know what you think. Love you.
Thank you very much, CC, and thank you for that, Ethan. We'll get you back in a moment. But first, let's see if we can we have 2 latecomers who are here tonight. One just got done celebrating a birthday. Let's welcome up Patricia Kerrigan.
Happy birthday to you too, both for the same day.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm feeling very good, very good. Gonna read the Green Crayon from my book, Innocence. This has actually happened to me, my childhood, so perfect for my birthday. The Green Crayon. The green crayon lit her imagination like a cigarette that dangled from her mouth. But the girl accidentally swallowed it and thought she was going to die. Her parents said that she wouldn't. She changed her mind after a trip to the bathroom. She learned to draw shortly after. The girl's crayons possessed magic, especially the green one. She drew flowers and animals everywhere. Walls and furniture were included. When she attended kindergarten, the magic fizzled. Scribble Scrabble was no longer an art form. Her imagination learned to stay within the lines. As she initialed her first project, the green crayon's point snapped. Her imagination immediately left the classroom. Truth. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
You got to write one called Ode to Rote Learning.
Thanks,
now.
Patricia.
Thank you for surviving that rote learning indoctrination anyway.
Thanks, Patricia.
Public school really sucked. I'm not kidding.
Oh, God.
Bitches, bitchy teachers.
Yeah, it's all rote learning, programming us. Yeah.
Yeah, 9 to 5. Yeah, they train you for the 9 to 5 world.
Hi. Hello, John Roche. Would you be interested in reading now?
Sure. I got a new Joe poem.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
for those of you who haven't bought the Joe, either of his books from Foothill Publishing, the Joe poems, the adventures, and then the further adventures of Joe the Poet. I think those are the order. Either way, they're 2 Joe poem books. Grab them from Foothills as soon as you can. And you'll get the synopsis for Joe with today's poem, I believe. Let's welcome up John Roche.
Thank you. So this is called Joeitude. For those of you who don't know Joe the Poet, he's a time traveling poet, essentially. Okay, so the title is Joeitude. Joeitude is the attitude Joe has when he tudes. Joeitude hums a sweet tune you can't quite place, even though your grandma's grandma used to sing it. Joeitude was old when the moon was young and remains unfazed. Joeitude maybe first arrived on an asteroid along with various other parasites. Joeitude has survived droughts and floods, wars and pandemics, ice ages, and hot eons. Joeitude has a beat you can dance to if you're a 3,000-year-old redwood. Joeitude can endure the most deadly open mic in the galaxy, even Vogon poetry, though the jury's still out about the epics of the Asgoths of Kriya. Joeitude is not to be confused with grace, serenity, wu-wei, beginner's mind, sprezzatura, mindfulness, or other facsimiles, but it is copacetic. Joeitude always follows its bliss and furthers yours. Joeitude won't cure jock itch or athlete's foot, but it might help you with writer's block.
Nice. Thank you, John. And looks like we only have 2 more people to go. A musical interlude again, and then we'll close out with James Van Looy. Then we'll have John Landry for the feature. But so let's move on to Ethan promised something on Facebook. I'm going to allow it. Let's welcome up the Pulse of Stone Soup and the Pulse of Boston's art scene, Ethan Mackler.
Thanks, Chad. I did realize that you and Patricia have reverse initials.
Oh, God.
I don't know if
That's
that
true.
is significant or what, but all right. So I wrote this limerick in honor for your special day, Chad. I think I had to use a thesaurus or whatever. All right. There once was a host named Parento with a knack for keeping the soups flow. Then along came a scourge, which for others would purge, but for him, still live, but through video. Happy birthday, Chad.
Thank you very much, Ethan. Very, very awesome of you. And with that, we have, here we go. Let's go to our penultimate closer for the open mic. This man is a regular columnist for Oddball Magazine at oddballmagazine.com. Check out It's All One Thing, which publishes every Thursday morning without fail at 11 o'clock. He's also been part of Stone Soup since damn near the beginning. And it's great to have him here as often as he can make it still today, to this day. Let's welcome up Mr. James Van Loy.
Thank you. So I have a poem here called Never Said, Never Said. All these thoughts streaming through our heads, bodies of building blocks from giant exploded stars, breathing ever such an earthy world that birthed us in and out and in. Our ribs, these heaving bars, corporeal prisons, just waiting, wanting to breathe free. Whole forest lungs grow from lattice of roots of trees, fungi signaling globally saying, oh, how we must be in this privatized, commercial, consuming human sea where there we are, in spite of so many diverse selves, gremlins, trolls, huckster, grinning, evil, operant elves, all the admin consumer algorithmic poles that delve down through our evolutionary common living cells to find the precise unconscious trick sends us into that overwhelmed brain misfiring overloaded neurons hi-hat just despite all class distinctions is this poor cornered rat addicted to food itself, sugar, salt, and gobs of animal fat. So they worship on the altar of ancient human sacrifice and take the innovations to turn into mysterious device. They use up everything we need when less would suffice. Even a pandemic only increases rising market price. They ask me how I knew my true love was true. I, of course, replied, something deep inside cannot be denied. They said someday you'll find all who love are blind. When your heart's on fire, you must realize smoke gets in your eyes. So I gaily laughed and chafed them to think they could doubt my love. Yet today my love has flown away. I am without my love. When laughing friends deride, tears I cannot hide. I just smile and say, when a lovely flame dies, smoke gets in your eyes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, James. And that concludes the open mic. That's what I would have said, except that we did get joined by Mr. Jim Dunn, and it's been so long since I've heard him. I didn't know if he would have something to share before we got started.
James, come on, James.
Hey, I'm walking through the streets of Beverly, and I just joined because I hope I didn't miss John yet, but I just wrote a poem for Aldo, and I'll read it. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Find it. All right, cool.
Yes.
All right, let me read this while I'm walking the street, so I gotta watch where I'm going. Okay, 1 second. Here we go. 1 second. I'll just read this one poem for Aldo. Aldo's eyes. They were cat-like in their sunflower focus, receiving light, radiating heat. He had no time to dally. He was bombed by his motherland as a child. Liberty torched his freedom. The shoe dropped on the other foot in the grave. He was one of the Buffalo soldiers who saved him. He would always fight for their freedom from oppression,
because he felt the weight of history in his neck of the woods, where the bodies pile up and mountains lay down. The clouds are absurd, dropping trousers to expose the truth, which ain't that pretty at all. Thank you.
Yay, Aldo.
Hey, Aldo.
Oh,
Hey,
Aldo
John.
Tamburlini.
Hey, there you go, Aldo. There's going to be a feature in the Brooklyn Rail, I think, coming up for Aldo. So
Oh,
that's
good.
for Aldo.
Thanks, Jimmy.
There you go.
Say that again,
Johnny,
Jim. There's going to be.
It's
Here,
Johnny. I'm here.
Are you right?
Say that again, Jim. There's
Here I
gonna
am.
be a feature where?
Here, somewhere
you are.
online, I think. There you go. I'm on the streets in my Atomic T-shirt. Johnny, I didn't miss your feature yet, did I? You didn't feature
No,
yet,
no,
did you?
no.
Oh, sweet.
I'm up
All right.
next.
Right, I'll stay on as long as my phone stays alive. So I can't wait. Thank you very much, Chad, for fitting me in, and it just worked out that way.
Thanks, Jim.
From the mean
Thanks.
streets
Thank
of
you,
Beverly,
Jim, for
Mass.
loving Aldo.
Sure.
Thanks, Jim. I'm muting people so we can hear our feature who is coming on. Just some very quick boilerplate for tonight's feature, who comes with a lot of history of Stone Soup and other wonderful pieces of Boston's history that doesn't get spoken of enough. John Landry was born in New Bedford and served as its poet laureate from 2007 to 2010. He ran several poetry reading series there over the decades. He has survived as a quahogger, scallop shucker, factory worker, warehouseman, librarian, health educator, and teacher. I hope it was in that order. He was a regular participant in Stone Soup readings organized by founder Jack Powers from the 70s through the 90s. At the invitation of Gwendolyn Brooks, he is read at the Library of Congress. Landry was enlisted as a contributing editor for the recent 50th anniversary anthology of San Francisco's Beatitude. Oh, not that recent, 2009. Thought I said 2019. Memories. And for the spring 2018, way more recent, Cape Cod Poetry Review. His own work has appeared in a wide array of publications in the US and abroad. During a campaign of civil disobedience concerning homeless services, AIDS awareness, and the Iran-Contra scandal, John was arrested at the Reagan White House. At the time, he was working with the Community for Creative Nonviolence, helping to run the largest homeless shelter in the country, 2 blocks from the US Capitol. Sadly appropriate. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight a piece of Stone Soup poetry history and activism history. I hope you all listen. We're all going to learn something tonight. I always learn a little something new every time I talk with John. Put your hands together 20 to 30 times for Mr. John Landry.
Thank you. And Margaret. I don't know if Carol's still on, but hi, Carol. Hi, John. Hi, Jim. Hi, everybody.
Johnny.
Hi, Jimmy. All right. Where to begin is always the question around here when it comes to Stone Soup. I was just a kid when I wandered in there on a Sunday night on Cambridge Street back in the day. And it's through old Jackie, who was like a son to Lawrence Ferlinghetti. It's through Jack I met Robert Bly, Bob Creeley, and a host of other luminaries and blessed souls among us through those years. I was wet behind the ears, and Jack helped me to dry off. And of course, John Wieners and Arlene Stone, Iso Kugush, Ero Rutila, so many people were part of that Sunday night show. And then, of course, as he moved across the river to Cambridge, to various places, I was there when I could be. I would like to read, I want to talk about Arlene a little bit. Arlene Stone, this is a self-portrait of hers from the early 60s. She started out as a painter in Philadelphia and came to Boston and studied. She was a friend of Anne Sexton's and tried to study with Robert Lowell, which of course was a trying thing. But she would come to Stone Soup as often as she could. So it would often be Arlene and Charlie Shively and John Wieners and myself and a host of others. I found a poem of John's for Ed Dorn, and I'd like to read that. Ed Dorn was one of my teachers when I was in Colorado in the 1977. And this is for Ed Dorn by John Wieners. A crumbling ruin on top of Beacon Hill. Oh, Ed, how many years have we plied our trade? The deaths of poets, and we have plodded on. Life holds such sorrow, I cannot bear to speak of it. Over the yearning century, dreaming of its heroes, evening one after another, and the passion pours down from our hearts to hearten the lives of those we love and who love us. Not revolutionary sentiments. We leave each other alone, thinking we can take care of ourselves. While time steals our youth and moon music whispers on the hill, over the evergreen trees and salty ocean. I long for you as my brothers secrete their individual lives in separate places. John and Ed, along with Fee Dawson and Michael Roommaker, of course, were several of Charles Olson's darlings. And I have a poem for Ed Dorn myself, so I'll read that one next. It's called Snow's Return Address for Ed Dorn. 300 days since the last flake fell. Old crone hobbles across the busy street at night, clutching onto what little residues in her threadbare purse. Past the bus station, the grizzled cigarette smokers scratching their lottery tickets with borrowed quarters. So long ago you told me it doesn't matter, but that I realize the questions will always outnumber the answers. Haunting me now again, looking outside the window, always an ocean in the corner of my eye. Who will prune the plum tree when I'm gone? Another poem by John Wieners called New Beaches. It's in the Cultural Affairs in Boston. New Beaches. Poetry has nearly ripped my life off, kept me on the streets and in boarding houses, drove me into asylums and maddened drug addiction tenements, where I lost my mother and father. Kept lovers in my mind. Somehow they did not help against beggarly. The sunshine outside did. Even still, the hag of toothless poverty waits behind the kitchen door, a future uncertain as ever. Although I cannot afford to lose my sense of its past. It was only poets who helped me, and their sponsors needed me half a decade of rest. The skin on my legs is changed. It holds together now as a rich person by myself. I have vowed I shall never be poor again, and no, I shall never be lonely again because of the love that dwells within poetry's mouth. So, my poem for John. Poem beginning with a line from the pen of John Joseph Wieners. I shall never be lonely again because of the love that dwells within poetry's mouth. Music gives the transmitters a workout which, once coaxed, no filters fit. This song is an old misfortune. I have spent my life trying to stay out of my own way. I was caught by a tremor of strings mingled with traffic. Work ethic notwithstanding, I ripen in your hands the fruit of labor's love. What sieves through consciousness dances in a borderless zone between first and second natures, humbling the proclamations of state. I will not be your lamb tonight, who ladles the moon another broadcast. There are three sides to every coin, and who are angels to the eye transfixed, are alchemized, and otherwise melted down to earth, where I first learned silence is my mother tongue and song my second language. And while I'm with John, I'll read my poem, a piece for Bob Creeley called What Gets Said. A scarf holds my breath through walks against the wind's grain. Snow catches in filter woven there. Is no place to avoid New England when that's where your there is. The snow, the cold won't let up to obstacle the way we meet and cherish the treat of such company in which to dwell is more than one can ask for, more than one deserves, as if we deserve anything another can provide. What one loves well remains, the rest is shadow in the corner of a photograph we laughed about, the angle of the approach, the longing in an eye focused on going. Such are such loves on the move, and one knows what comfort is, what the world has come to be or offer the loyalty of, say, animals or friends, say, as in, how are you, my friend? Runs up from the heart to the gullet, no stopping the mouth, but to kiss a lip goodbye, it is the need to say what you mean. John Wieners, procrastination. I feel tomorrow it may be, tonight, later, when the world is ripe, then will descend, oh, letters of fire fall on my head. Not now with my arm against the hard brown desk. Go on, it has begun. The old heat is in the heart. This is the new start you long awaited. The traceries of feeling interlock the chest. The eyes become onyx and pearl. The night falls at noon. Too soon leaves break from their branches. They whistle in your ears. The spirit is near, and the mind grasps upward to the full sun, wheeling in the heavens, at one with the cosmos. You are a star shining in the blue of the daytime skylight. And here's one actually by Frank O'Hara for John. And of course, they knew each other through the Poets Theater in Cambridge as well as in New York. It's called Poem. It's from Lunch Poems. Instant coffee with slightly sour cream in it and a phone call to the beyond, which doesn't seem to be coming any nearer. Ah, Daddy, I want to stay drunk many days on the poetry of a new friend. My life held precariously in the seeing hands of others, their and my impossibilities. Is this love, now that the first love has finally died, where there were no possibilities? 1956. And I'd like to read one more of John's. Of course, Seth has put together yours presently, this wonderful book of John letters. And it's through the University of New Mexico Press down the street here. This is, let's see. This is called, on the 20th of January, the snows began to melt. On January 20th, the snows began to melt. I saw a woman stagger on the train, with orange flowers in her hand, and I could not make up my mind to be the woman or orange flowers. Carried underground on this, suddenly before me a boy came on, and he hold in one hand a bed, my mother would say, of red gladiolas, a blur of carnations and yellow, a color to soak the black off death. And I know dying or dead women who receive these see blinds slashed, like me in the tunnel under Charles Street, hot as a bee is, seized on their smell. And whoops. One poem by Robert Bly, who also came through Stone Soup. I was very lucky. Jack always invited me at that time upstairs where he was living when we saw Andreas and Kolya become before moving to Joy Street. And Bob Creeley and his then very young companion Penelope from across the ocean. And we're talking, oh gosh, this is 1975 and 6. And Bly came from Minnesota. Jack was partially responsible in coordinating readings by Gregory Corso, Diane DePrima, Denise Levertov, so many people who came to town. So it was a great education just to show up. But Jack always invited me over to the Harvard Gardens or upstairs for dinner and drinks, etc. later in a smaller venue. So this is from Robert Bly. It's called Visiting the 85-Year-Old Poet. It's for the Norwegian poet Olav Hauge. And it's just kind of a bow to all of our elders, without whom, etc. Visiting the 85-year-old poet. The 85-year-old man stands up and walks to the bookcase, his hair tousled, his legs thin, to fetch a book, then pulls it down and says, "No doubt you've already read this." He has. He paddles among these ice floes, these enormous fat books, like a great Eskimo hunter, for there are seals below in the sea, offering their hides, their fat, their great lonesome eyes. Oh yes, he says, oh yes, some truths have been said. Someone in China or Hardanger has written great poems. Oh yes, he stands again, goes to the wall. Emerson was a keen reader. Oh yes. He has lived his whole life on 3 acres of apple trees, chopping wood, visiting the madhouse, throwing plates against the wall, translating, packing apples, writing poems. I am proud to know him, this old man late in life, who stands up and says, "No doubt you've already lived this." Let's see here. Ooh. This is a poem. Oh. This is a poem I wrote for Everett Hoagland from New Bedford. He was the first poet laureate there. And he put together an anthology of poems called Ocean Voices that was published in New Bedford through Spinner Publications. And my piece in it is called Ocean Song. And Ocean Song. I am no ist, I have no ism. The flow I roll with is myself. Am consoled by sharp edges smoothed by endless moving water. The sea is its own reign of logic. Tears rack from rock in an infinite gesture. All arguments with myself I am able to soothe. Water always finds its way, over, under, around, and through. No need to ask, is that where the sea is? Wherever water is, I am that self same sea. What I wash upon, what I wash away, I give flotsam, I take jetsam. The moon pulleth, the moon pusheth away. Without intention, I flow. I am flow, having nothing to cling to. Let's see. Where's my... From Arlene Stone, pieces from her Cherry Blossom Suite. The tourists reflected like upside down swans in Blue Dragon Pond. Kanan Bodhisattva, compassion is tea in a white lotus cup. On the 8th of April, the 4th lunar month, Buddha's hallowed birthday, that celebrates those cherry blossoms that are the theme of Odes to Spring. Some on silver wire, some dot sable bark, some sail celestial parks. While some speak in tongues, wherever deer cluster, the Buddha spews flowers. Oh, before I forget, I can't believe, of course, that next year will make 20 years that John is gone. You know, marking time by people gone is a very painful thing, but at the same time, the joy we had with them. And on Joy Street, often at Jack's, with the clatter of the red line passing through the passing through the hill behind the windows in the back. In January of 2004, I had gone up from Museum Run and took a day off. And I came out of the Isabel Gardner Museum and just was transfixed by what happened. And this is the poem. Mrs. Gardner in White, for John Wieners on what would have been his 70th birthday, January 6, 2004. Under a white hooded sweatshirt, John Wieners is a woman with an untrimmed chin, stroking the sidewalks with his soles outside the Gardner. In his right hand, plum full shopping bag with handles. In his left, a burning cigarette held down and out as if following at enough distance to deny its hold on him. Mrs. Gardner kept me from the silver snuff boxes, even though I wore a jacket, and whispered, "Singer Sergeant," in her ear. This is called A Rose for Fall River, one of the places I lived and where my family lived briefly in the 20s before returning to New Bedford. A Rose for Fall River. I catch my pants on old bent nails, watching the traffic of lean gray streets. Funny, but it doesn't look like Kansas anymore. Road signs are false advertising. They don't tell you what you're really getting. Every city is a sideshow of the imagination. Do you ever look upon a city as a rainbow? It is as locomotive as anything you may dream. There is green nude on the sidewalk. Someone's doing push-ups in the parking lot. And seasonless as a dog and turgid in his world of unmatched socks, the madman passes through the green door to hell with a rose for Fall River grinning into every eye at the bus station. Oh, bless his forehead with the Book of Kings. Give him the Angelus at 6 p.m. Sing him Fado from the factory minarets. He goes from nose to nose until his rose is just a stem fitting the grooves of his knuckles. The moon is always full over Fall River, and the sun comes up like Coltrane on the broken glass of phone booths. I walk to work with birds in my head, coughing up the koans of modern man. No need to think up other worlds. The agreed upon reality is sufficiently fantastic to baffle most imaginations. Still, a debate continues crossing Braga Bridge at 90, recapturing the ability to wonder at relativity. A lake of swans, a pond of gulls, a puddle of sparrows. Let's see. What did I do? Sorry, I have too many books at my behest here. This summer 2018 300 plus page issue of the Cape Cod Poetry Review, which is usually about 80 pages, but they asked me to serve as a guest editor, and I said, well, be careful what you wish for. You're gonna get it. So they did, and it's a wonderful thing. There are unpublished poems by Charlie Shively, John Wieners, Daniel Berrigan, Thomas Merton, and 70 some odd other poets in here. One of the last poems of Joanne Kiger, some of the last poems of Charlie and the late Tom Weigel, who hailed in New London for years. Let me see what I'll give you of Charlie's. Doo-doo. Jewels of Exploration, Exploitation by Charlie Shively. C'est la vie they die in, innocent 30. What percentage, how many years? Appeal doubts, libels, trials, eventually executed, cut off, course of burnt labels. Reading glass, magnification, dezinkification, functional people who didn't do anything. Mistake in every system, overcrowded cells, repeat offenders, uncertainties, punishment, banishment, standing still, dead, no name, slippage glass, crushed sharp edges, flattened, faultless, wooden, absolute mercy faucets, turned off floods, floors, upper stories, without La Jolla aloe, swift judgment tournament of eccentricities after incomplete adornment, jewels, journeys, whistle, and watch those teeth. No one leaves here alive. This is called Clutch by Charlie Shively, and it has a little epigrammatic line at the beginning from Hilda Doolittle from HD. Clutch. It will break the clutch. HD. Clutch broken, bitten, bitter, bridle leather strap, smooth strap, patch worn, bracelet, ankle, catch, watch, latch, patch, hatch, match, gear to gear, wheel to wheel, girl to girl, boy to boy, pearl to pearl, joy to joy, each grasp, let go, gallop, grab, laughter, disasters, flattered, shattered, friction, fiction, diction of all's well, wound up with wounds of wanting whips, when lips kiss too sweet for words afford no relief, sleep, dream exits, silk skin rubs hands together in storage box, aroused tan glands glad, clutches splintered, hard wood, benchmark, beaten into swollen feet, argived sandals survive too much attention. Take time. And for Charlie, it's called You Came to Me Speaking Swordfish, or One Slouch Hat Too Many. Hermaphrodite gowns piled brittle on the shore, crepidula fornicata, the incredulous hermaphrodite, creeping dueler. This is common snail, found intertidally, mermaid's toenails, saddle oysters. It was a maw full of secrets, the woos of mephitic vapors, sweet ethylene of Delphi. Oh, to disembody my euphoria, glossolalic hexameters, riddled with diddles, some even rhyming, most of it not, but a bow to the masters of song. A convert proves the best missionary. A pervert proves the most mercenary. And, oops, where did it go? Sorry. Oh, here's one. Folding chair for Shirley Chisholm. And it starts off, of course, old rocking chair's got me, cane by my side. Fetch me my gin, son, for I tan your hide. Get from this cabin, I ain't going nowhere. I'm sitting here grabbing at the flies round my rocking chair. Old folding chairs got me from the start. It's pinched my ass. I need a drink and to swat flies around my folding chair. I don't want to bring it inside. It's so nice to rock out. I just need a joint to swat the flies with and see if they react to the smoke. Life, another science experiment, another sequence of mistakes. We are truly an insane race. We're humans everywhere you go. But there are new concentrations, like the United States of, and this is spelled with 3 Ks, like the United States of America, where when they don't want you having a chair, they just take away the table. A little ditty for Bob Lax. Bob Lax was Thomas Merton's best friend in Columbia University, and one of the only people that Ad Reinhardt, the painter, allowed in his studio because Bob could sit for hours, complete silence. Bob lived on the island of Patmos and elsewhere in the Dodokinesos and in Athens, and I went to Greece to visit him several times. One of those times we hung out in Athens with Sun Ra, and that was an adventure. There's a book called Sun Ra's Omniverse, and there's like a 20 or 30 page poem by Bob Lax for Sunny. This is called Sharing Silence for Bob Lax. Sitting by the beach boats, watching dogs and cats stroll by, and tourists come from the cruise ships, breaking our silence, pointing their cameras in our eyes. We look at them, wave, make faces, at them and each other, and break up laughing. And that is what rhymes with black dog, brown dog, white cat, black cat. Find wind, clear morning. Someday, after the wind and the rain and gravity have flattened Fuji and all the woodblock prints are eaten, a dream will still remember, and 10,000 children will pile on top of one another to imitate its shape. Not ever afraid of silence, above the tree line, my hat and red bandana, the only shade there is, until a cloud comes by, like a friend to lay a hand on my sad shoulder, or a stranger not walking when the sign says, walk, to lay $1 in a stranger's paper cup. This too is like that one from Washington, D.C. years in the later 80s, half my life ago. Jail poems, basically. I was working with the Community for Creative Nonviolence, and as Chad mentioned, was a jailbird briefly. Minding my P's and Q's. I was minding my P's and Q's. I was working in the Wampanoag Department of Plymouth Plantation. I hesitate to call it a plantation, but there you have it. Working in Plymouth and the Wampanoag Department in the mid-late 80s. And one Sunday night, I was sitting out under a pine tree on the dunes at Manomet, looking out over Cape Cod Bay. And the phone rang, and it was Daniel Berrigan calling, saying, you need to come to Washington. We need your help. And so I went. There is fog before dawn and dew on the lawn of the Capitol that is gone when most eyes are propped open against their will. This is the hour of secrets. I am invited by crickets and encouraged by the practice of enthusiastic birds. Exhaust fumes dim the swollen moon, and the birds retrieve their songs from airwaves too full with everything. The waking world stakes its claim. I mind my pieces and quiets best when my mouth is a muted bell and my ears are the handles of an empty urn. I guess that's good. Yeah, I'll read one more for Charlie.
That sounds great.
I can't bring myself to read my poems for Jack because Margaret's here and I won't make it. Sorry. What can I say?
Wow.
This is for Charlie. It's called.
Please read.
It's called 7 Mouses On for Charlie Shively. We have no open door policy, even for the 3 scarce neighborhood cats. So far seen, your cat herding kept most rats away. The floors sagging under the weight of poetry, each page anointed with eudaimonia. No row of hanging gas masks, no prep, no warning. You were about to serve up burnt nostril. I even put fresh cheese on the wood and wire traps. These sudden cold nights have driven them in, but our larders all secure in cabinets, drawers, and containers, nothing let loose for forage. One day early, snapped my toe. Have jumped at the clack a couple or 3 times now. Sticky sheets have taken one down. I crushed his skull with a beer bottle. One swing, no lingering. Spiders, gnats, and many kinds of roaches. Very few beetles present indoor. Time to replace the sticky traps. The greenhouse one is covered with bugs. Sometimes roach antennae whip around as if trying to make knots above their heads. No other body part in motion, but I don't recall meeting them eye to eye. Thanks, folks. Good to see you on here, you all. Happy birthday,
Thank you,
Chad,
John.
Patricia, and happy anniversary, Stone Soup.
Thank you. Thank you. Great reading.
Wonderful. Thank you, John.
Glad I got home in time for this.
Excellent.
Hey, bravo.
Thanks for sharing your birthday.
That was fantastic. And I hate to intervene, but it looks like Margaret did request a poem for Jack.
Oh my.
I know.
I know. All right, well. Here goes something.
Aw.
All right. This is called Just Another Crime of Passion. And it begins with a little epigram from Luciano Eneschi. Every poetics claims to be the only poetics, but poetics are infinite in number. Whoever H is, I wear his t-shirt I got for $2 at the Salvation Army, no longer there. Oh, Aspartame, my new goddess of synthesis, sweeten dawn with just a sigh. Our Lady of Insomnia, she has so many detachments now, markets her own line of pillows. Swimming in memory, the man surrounded by his own art has skewed the world that skewered him for his unconventional practice. Because he has defied convention, his world's made marvelous just by opening one eye to morning. All the uncommon becomes familiar, as a finger on a tongue of song in an ear, where else come to flower after years of practice, listening and looking to truly hear, to see what it is the heart is beating for. It's the active fact that's got primary energy, surge, urge, surging forth. The after the fact is after the act. The true way is to eat your future, Neely said, as he grabbed for his cookie and ate it down, unread fortune and all. Almost honorable teacup, I was advised to be advised by nature. Hibernate for 6 days, socialize for 1. Gather little, disperse much, own less, feel more. To be a poet, be poetry. And Jack certainly was, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. That I know that last one took a lot, but that was wonderful, and I'm sure Margaret appreciates it, and I'm sure everyone else does. Everyone who knew Jack. So well, I don't know what to say. Oh, except perhaps if you're interested in donations, if you have a Cash App, Mr. Landry, or a place that you'd like donations sent to.
Not for me, for Stone Soup, for wherever they need to be next.
I will. I'll try and set something up tomorrow then on your behalf. But I do appreciate that I do appreciate that sentiment. I do appreciate this incredible amount of time you've spent, not just to feature your work, but a lot of the people in Stone Soup's past. And that was quite fantastic. I'd love to see more Jack poems in the future. I do have that issue of the Cape Cod Poetry Review.
Oh, good.
And, and that was actually a gift from you when you stopped by Boston a couple of years ago. So
That's right.
much appreciated as always. The wow, and I'm hoping our last feature is going to be just as explosive. Another person from the past, and I won't give away the surprise, but it's someone who's been away from Boston for a long time, but also a West Coast, also someone who expatriated to the West Coast. And I won't give you any more than that. But if we can get them, that'd be fantastic. And I think that's all I can say now. Hopefully, the next couple of days, I'm going to be taking time to securing features for the rest of the summer. We have at least a good 3 or 4 people who are slated for June itself, and I know the opening for Boston is scheduled to be for August 1st. And I've already projected time for hopefully a time for at least in an open venue, ideally in Cambridge, a Stone Soup reunion.
Grab done.
Yeah. In which we can all be together, and Carol Weston, I can give her that live feature, and I can give James that same live feature. That would be fantastic. I still want to tread very carefully for this. So until that happens, we're going to still have this weekly outlet. And then as things progress, as things move on and Boston tries to get back, I still like to do something live, and hopefully there'll be more information about that. I do want to mention that for those of you who supported the Cambridge Poetry Mashup, Tony B's gig from a couple of weeks ago, her last event, for those of you who live in Cambridge and Boston, is taking place in Cambridge in an open venue this May 15th. And it's a youth group. Hopefully all double vaccinated, but we'll see what happens. But I think it is safe and socially distant, and Tony's been doing a great job of that. And no one's died from poetry yet from this pandemic. Let's at least be thankful that we're not blamed for something else. So the mashup will be taking place on the 15th, this weekend, this Saturday. I don't think I'm going to be there, but I might, and we'll see what happens. And that's going to be the last part of the Cambridge Poetry Mashup, and with hopefully more events being announced. Tony and I are going to be working together for this coming September. So hopefully when we all are able to get together, it's going to be an amazing, wild time. And all I can tell you is stay tuned. And I might even do something for Bill Barnum around that time as well, because we never had the 1-year Bill Barnum tribute. He died 2 years ago, and we were supposed to have some kind of tribute in 2020, but things didn't work out. Margaret, John just sent you the Gmail, and I'll share that with you as well. I think we're all pleasantly and spiritually tuckered out from that, and we're going to go to sleep and think a lot of stuff. And I can't wait to get the piece together, the video from this. We actually have 2 parts of the video. There was a little bit of a loss because of internet issue, but I think we do have, for the most part, 100% of it, if not close to it, via the Stone Soup Facebook Live feed. And hopefully in the next few months, I'll be able to eliminate this problem altogether. It's mostly an internet issue given the area I'm in. I'm in a new area, and the internet towers are not as plentiful here as they are in other parts of the city. So hopefully that won't be as big of a problem, but I do thank all of you for contributing to an amazing night. I'm going to do a very quiet wave. I hope everyone partakes and joins. And again, we have a lot to, thanks for those of you who are breaking out of your TV roles to your stop video modes to do that. Thank you, Jan. And stay tuned. More news coming. Probably next week off because I need to take a breather and I need to make sure we have our feature secured. I thank John for doing this on relatively short notice. I thank him for coming to the first Stone Soup anniversary special with Dita Galloway. And I thank all of you guys who have been able to come as when you can. that means a lot to me. And I thank you for the birthday wishes and for both myself and Patricia.
Well, you know, we're all grateful for you for keeping this whole circus going, you know.
Well,
You've won the crown all these years now, and you deserve a break today.
I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm not doing anything if I'm not doing this, which is weird because I've been an
Nope.
essential worker since the beginning.
You got a lot of people who love you. Don't be afraid to always ask for
We
help.
love
too.
you. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
It's fine.
It's all
I
good.
appreciate it.
However,
Well, it's my girlfriend's
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Chad.
It's my girlfriend's birthday next week. Her birthday is a week after mine. To the
Well,
day.
happy birthday to her.
Taurus,
Yay.
Taurians.
So we'll be at Revere. I'll probably send a live feed of us enjoying lobster ravioli and what have you from a beachfront.
Tonight.
Good choice.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you all very much and have a good night.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Save the chat, everyone.
Thank you
Happy
guys.
birthday, Chad.
I have to work on Brother Brownstone anthology.
It was
I'm
good to
getting my
hear you again,
computer
Carol,
fixed next
too.
week.
Bye, James, everyone.
Good
It could be like this every week, guys. All we need is you. Good night.
There we
Yeah,
go.
Good night. Bye,
Love,
everybody.
love.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.